Alrighty guys, we're back for Simic Cookies, and this is an Edge of Eternities standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. We have all four Emissary Escorts, 2 mana 0/4, this creature gets +X/+O, where X is the greatest mana value among other artifacts you control. And when we did mono blue robots, you guys wanted me to play all four Zoetic Glyph, with all four Leyline Axe too. So this time around, they're making the cut, just not in mono blue, in Simic instead, right? So Zoetic Glyph is a 3 mana aura. You enchant an artifact. Enchanted artifact is a golem creature with base power and toughness 5/4. In addition to its other types. When this aura is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you discover 3, which is actually pretty good, huh? So if you plug this onto an Emissary Escort, it becomes a 5/4, but its ability still gives it +X/+O, where X is the greatest mana value among other artifacts. So it could be a big old chunky Emissary Escort, which is really cool, especially if you give it trample on something like Herd Heirloom, actually making the cut as a 4/of. So of course, the top ability only ramps you into creatures, but we do have some good top end creatures to ramp into in here. Bottom ability acting as card draw and a way to give our big old chunky creatures trample, of course. So how about that top end I was just talking about? Well, we got all four Memory Guardians. Affinity for artifacts is excellent. It has flying. It's a 3/4. Going to be great in here, especially when you get it out for cheap, and it's a 5 mana artifact, so the Escort already has 5 power at that point. We also have a couple top end Mechanozoas, really looking at it for the warp cost. And the warp is only 2 and a blue. When it enters, tap target artifact or creature and opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. Nice. So a little bit of a tempo play with the Mechanozoa. Maybe if you're late enough into the game too, or if you ramped off the Herd Heirloom, you can also attach like a Lavaspur Boots to it, give it haste, and get a good swing with the Mechanozoa as well. Now about that Leyline Axe that I brought up, if it's in your opening hand, you may begin the game with it on the battlefield. So already, if this is in your opener, the Emissary Escort right away will be a 4/4. That's pretty cool, right? Now, equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has double strike and trample. The equip cost is only 3, which isn't bad for that ability, honestly. Double strike trample on a big old chunky Emissary. Yeah, that sounds cool, right? What else do we got packed in, guys? We got a 1/of Tezzeret Cruel Captain. Not going to take the time to go over it right now. I've been playing a lot of this Planeswalker because I've been playing a lot of artifacts recently. I've been having a good time with it too. So Synthesizer Labship making the cut as a 4/of. It's a 1 blue mana spacecraft, so it has station. And for 2+ charge counters, at the beginning of combat on your turn, up to 1 other target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 2/2 and gains flying until end of turn. So another way to power up like a Herd Heirloom that might not be doing too much for you that turn or something, right? Now at 9+, which shouldn't be unheard of in here at all, it has flying, it has vigilance, and it's a 4/4. Kind of no joke. You have a little bit of removal with a couple of the Meltstrider's Resolve being a good fight spell for this one. And then we have a couple tempo plays with a couple bounce off. And there's also a potential where you bounce off one of your own creatures to just protect it, right? I think that happens a lot more than you would think too. You can even bounce off one of the tough cookies to get that ETB again, which I called it Simic Cookies for a reason. Technically, the main build around is tough cookie, but all the other cards in here also look like the main build around, right? So yeah, all four tough cookies. It's a 2 mana 2/2. When it enters, you get that food. So 2 artifacts for the price of 1 should be pretty good. And it also has more ways to power up our artifacts laying around. For 2 and a green until end of turn, target non-creature artifact you control becomes a 4/4 artifact creature. Also has the food ability packed onto the bottom too, which I guess you never know when that'll come in handy. A lot of great Simic dual land to choose from. We have all 4 Sanctums, all 4 Breeding Pool, and all 4 of the Willowrush Verge as well. Now with the Willowrush Verge tapping for blue initially, we're not too worried about it since Breeding Pool does power it up, as well as 10 total basics in here. Titanic Godcore making the cut as a 1/of, probably not going to really help us out too often, but I guess you never know. No honorable mentions, guys. I think there's a whole bunch of ways we could have put this list together, and I always bring this up. If the sideboard is completely packed with honorable mentions, I usually just drop them all. So at the very least, what should have made the cut as an honorable mention? Let me know in the comments. Either way, I do my D&Ds to go ahead and save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video, so look forward to that. In the meantime, let's go ahead and take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, we'll see if we can get right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? I'm hoping that it's going to be pretty good, guys. I think it should be. I think it should be pretty good. I have no idea if it's actually going to be, though. Good opening hand, really good opening hand. We get a Leyline Axe and everything. Wow. Hey, opponent also rocking a Leyline over there. Okay. A level playing field then, I suppose. Ooh, another Leyline Axe isn't the greatest. All right, Memory Guardian down to 3 already. 2 mana card off the top would be terrific here. Really don't necessarily want to take 2 from the breeding pool, but I will. I guess another 1-drop then too would work. 1-drop artifact, get the Memory Guardian down to 2. Couple 1-drops off the top would be good. Yeah, second Leyline Axe, not great. That's the problem though. If you drop like a couple Leyline Axe out of the deck list, you're going to see it in your opener even less. And when it's not in the opener, it's just a very expensive card, you know? There we go, 2 mana card. Nice. That even helps us ramp into the Memory Guardian. Maybe we can do multiple things on the same turn. Yeah. Other than that, we still have 3 for the Zoetic Glyph. Tough Cookie's really good. Tough Cookie, then Memory Guardian. Breeding Pool can come down tapped. That's 1 mana of any color, so it'll still be blue. Yep, worth it. Let's do it. Come on down, Tough Cookie. Memory Guardian. Wait a minute, guys. The opponent missed mana. I'm a little sad about this, because this looks like it could be an awesome match. I almost powered up the food. You got to watch out. Food doesn't have haste or anything fancy. So you do squeeze 2 through. Come on, opponent. Find that mana, buddy. Find that mana so we can stick this one out. Yeah, they kept 1, and a Leyline of Hope. I guess they must have a decent amount of mana in there to risk it, because that is pretty risky. Oh no, guys. Oh no. I have a feeling that the opponent missed their mana. I've been having some really weird matches lately. Really bizarre things. Well, I'll go ahead and pause until the opponent shows up. Oh, guys, the opponent arrived and played things out very fast. They dropped a Plains, dropped a Channeler, and attacked, all in the span of like 1 second for real. So, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they froze and had to restart the game. I feel like that's been happening a lot recently. So let's see what we want to get done here. We can power up something with the Zoetic Glyph. We do have 3 open for a Leyline Axe if we want to put that onto like a Memory Guardian. We could always power up the Labship here by tapping the creatures and then put Leyline Axe on the Labship, swing in the air for 8 that way. Now I'm using my timer, huh? Yeah, a lot of options here. Absolutely. Let's plug the Zoetic Glyph onto the food. And then use the food to power up the Labship. That's 2 creatures in the air then, right? That seems pretty good. And then we draw on the Labship too. Oh, Leyline Axe also getting into the air here. And actually, this would be a really good trade for us on the ground. So this is a really good full swing, isn't it? Okay. See if they block the Tough Cookie, then use the Heirloom for some card draw on the Labship. Yeah, so thank goodness they found their Plains. But that does mean they had 1 whole turn of missing it, right? I think so. No, wait. Wait, I'm getting lost in this match. Did they have a full turn of missing a Plains? Down to 7. Draw a card. Herd Heirloom. Okay. Yeah, this is a really sick showcase of the decklist synergies. Pridemate comes down, they get some life gain here, boosting on the ground, but we have so many flyers in the air. Especially, oh, bounce off too, wow. Especially with just Leyline Axe, equip that, right? To the Labship, I suppose. Then power up Heirloom, get that in the air. I guess actually powering up the food No, 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 no. Never mind. Never mind. It would change the base toughness to a 2/2. Okay. I was confusing myself there a little bit. Yeah, I think even if the opponent did have a turn where they missed mana entirely, or even if they didn't, I should say, if that didn't happen, I think the opponent would have been in significant danger. I mean, we were just having cards for days. That Leyline Axe early on was crazy business. That was really good, man. It just showcased almost all of the deck list in a very short game. Ooh, now we see a little bit of an opposite side here in the hand where we just don't have enough artifacts to really do much. A little bit of tempo. I say we keep it just to give it a shot, just to push the deck list to its absolute limits, and we don't have to worry about holding Bounce Off open here for the first turn. We get Godcore down. Iron Claw, nice. And again, probably not holding the Bounce Off open. The Emissary Escort was a really good draw, man. Yeah, 0/4 blocks most things, and I think I'll take the risk. I think I will take that block. Well, maybe. No, maybe not. Oh, second Hired Claw. That's not good. That's not good. Okay, I'll take the risk. I don't know what one white mana could be. Nice. We take one less there. That's great news. So Zoetic Glyph onto the Escort is good. Wish we had more on the board, but this is still pretty good. Because then when it comes time, we might be able to outpace. But against Boros, they could have really solid removal. A sheltered by Ghost, for example. They'd probably just want to take the Glyph if it was a Sheltered by Ghost, but it really depends. Got a great swing here. Going to get 4 damage through total, down to 14. I think we can keep up pace, guys. I do, especially with the Bounce Off in hand as well. So Lavaspur Boots, take 2 for the Breeding Pool, get the Guardian down. Escort goes to 10. They probably chump. Yeah, we still established the Lavaspur Boots. I guess we didn't have to, though. We didn't have to do that. Yeah. But I think we're okay. Hopefully. They do chump. Where's the Herd Heirloom when you need it, huh? Yeah, they're definitely going to keep some chump blockers back this time round. Hold up, guys. Botanical Sanctum. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, when did we draw this? I'm getting so lost in my games, guys. I played way too much Magic today. I apologize. I don't know how long Sanctum was in hand, but I do feel like I thought it was a second Breeding Pool, but I'm not 100% certain. So just note that, right? Even so, it would have had to come down within those first 3 lands anyways. So... But still, if it was, then maybe we would have just had an untapped Plains or something this turn too. Yeah, this is still anyone's game. Against Boros colors, a Sheltered by Ghost could still exist, so it's anyone's for sure. Oh, okay, more chump blockers. Now I really do want to see the Herd Heirloom. More mana. It's untapped mana. Could power up the Godcore. More mana. No, we probably just boost wide. Put the Lavaspur Boots onto the Memory Guardian. Could get 4 through by using the Bounce Off on the Show Off, but I'd rather just keep the Bounce Off as a surprise next turn, you know what I mean? Get that nice full swing. It's 14 damage on the board. They could take it and try to win on the backswing, but again, like I said, keeping the Bounce Off for a reason. Looks like they are going to try to win on that backswing, guys. So we could actually, before they untap, if they have protection for the Slickshot Show-Off. Nah, never mind. I don't think they'll have protection. This is a little bit risky, though. I think usually I would try Bounce Off on the Show-Off before anything else. If they hit 3rd mana, they do. We're in danger. Bolt Wave, okay. Yep, we're in danger, for sure. Because it could be protection for show-off, and it could be Burst Lightning to face. And if that's the case, we're dead. If it's protection. If it's not protection, then Bounce Off keeps us alive. And then we win on the backswing, hopefully. Two mana open, guys. Yep. I'm not feeling good about this. Get the good game ready. I think we're in a lot of danger. I probably should have bounced that 6-shot show off while they were tapped out. But it's still a... Oh! Holy cow. Down to 7. And then... I'll get a chump blocker back, right? Play the show off back for 2 and be able to chump the escort. They'd be forced into it. Yep, forced into the chump. Another Memory Guardian. Really good here, guys. Really good. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Are they going to win on the backswing, though? Again, thanks to the chump block. 7 going through. Maybe I don't equip the Memory Guardian. Force the chump, keep it open as a blocker. Yeah, that's actually better, right? Yeah, since we don't have lethal on the board, it's a much more aggressive play to give the Guardian haste off the Lavaspur. But we shouldn't. We just shouldn't. And then also, guys, we still swing with both because, number one, we can equip this over here. Because the ward could come in handy. Anyways, we still swing with both because we wouldn't have forced a chump if we didn't, which means they could have kept the slick shot show off back. Oh, good game, opponent. They just burn our face away anyways. Hey, that could have been anyone's game easily. I'm impressed. And all 4 Herd Heirlooms, I would say, for a very good reason. Again, it's not like too many creatures you want to spend the mana on with the Herd Heirloom, but that bottom ability should be crazy in here. Pretty much every game. We'll see, though. We'll see. Yeah, there's not much to be mad when you see Boros burn, because thank goodness it's different, right? You know what I mean? At least it's not a mono green landfall again. Something I've been appreciating is the Gruul landfall, actually. I've been appreciating that. 2 Leyline Axe. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens here. What is... Oh, they're both already submitted. Okay, I see. I see. I was wondering what was happening there. Yeah, we'll see what Leyline Axe can get up to, especially with our affinity creatures in here too. Probably right into Herd Heirloom over the Tough Cookie. Uh-oh. That's not good. They're going to disrupt our hand a little bit. Tough Cookie. Lavaspur Boots. All right. Well, we have a little bit of ramp into a top-end Mechanozoa when it comes time. But honestly, losing the Tough Cookie made this hand much weaker, because now we don't have like the ability to power up Leyline Axe as a 4/4 and stuff. Hey, Memory Guardian's really good, though. Like, ridiculously good. Actually, we have enough mana to draw on the Guardian swing here with the Heirloom. That's crazy business, man. Yep, they don't have any blockers in the air. I'm just going to activate this now. Down to 17. See what we see off the top. It's mana. Actually not terrible, because more mana we have... I mean, I guess we have the mana we need to give the Memory Guardian Trample Double Strike. The opponent also has the mana that they need to pay the extra ward cost to pop the Guardian too, so... Yeah, I don't like seeing mana here. It does get us one step closer to a Mechanozoa just full cast. They get a lifelink guy on the ground. Looks like they're going to keep 3 mana open here, maybe for just removal on our turn or something. No, Preacher of the Schism. We're going to have a great swing next turn, guys. 10 damage coming through in the air and drawing 2 thanks to the Heirloom. I mean, we do that. We do that all day, right? For sure. While we have it and while they're tapped out, all that excess damage and card draw is crazy. Holy cow. All right, yep. Yep, really good. we see another Mechanozoa and Herd Heirloom. All right, come on down. Synthesizer Labship. We'll see what we can get done with that next turn. I've never seen a Memory Guardian have a bigger target on its back. Holy cow. They go for a full swing. They go back up to 9. We go down to 10. They need removal. For sure. We're still flying in. Oh, they go back up to 10. The vampire also has lifelink. We have 10 on the board. It's going to be a bitter triumph. They pay that extra ward cost, and now a creature off the top would be great. It's actually going to be a Leyline Axe, however. So they have 8 on the board. If they find open mana, they have lethal. So tapping like a Preacher of the Schism could be great. Dude, Preacher of the Schism just provides way too much value sometimes, huh? Mechanozoa. Give haste. Give trample off the Herd Heirloom. 1, 2. Yes. Warp it out. Keep a Preacher of the Schism tapped for 1 extra turn. Give it haste. It's a 6/6. It's a 6/5, I mean. Okay. See the block. Maybe they just take the 6. They do try the chump. Nope. They figured out the Herd Heirloom. We take that. We take that card draw all day. They're down to 4. Another Herd Heirloom off the top is not terrific, bro. Really, really isn't. Full swing. They go back up to 8. We don't win with the other Mechanozoa swing next turn. Just so much value from the opponent. Thank goodness they're only swinging with 1 Preacher of the Schism this time. Enduring Curiosity going to draw them 5 cards, pulling them right back in. However, this has already been a back and forth game. I guess pulling them back in as far as card advantage, right? Is kind of what my brain was going with there. The third Leyline Axe is pretty bad in hand, and then 3 Herd Heirlooms too. So we could have drawn a little better for sure. Meltstrider's Resolve is not bad at all, but we pretty much don't have it here no matter what, right? If we go Meltstrider's Resolve into a Preacher of the Schism, our creature also gets popped. We don't have a creature that's actually sticking around on the board state either. Without seeing extra mana here too, we don't have the Resolve on the same turn as a good swing with the Heirloom. The Labship could power up something in the air, but they're back up to 8 thanks to all the life gain. I'm thinking, opponent, 1 second, buddy. I wanna make this the most fun possible swing. Then we'd have 1, 2, 3, 1 mana. I guess, did we have this last turn? I think I'd still probably prefer the Resolve though for the turn 2. So we can tap down the Heirloom. Like this. We tap down their last blocker, like that, right? Then we go like this. Yeah, more mana this game would have been really good, huh? We pop the Curiosity, but it comes back anyways. And they still have a vampire to block that I completely overlooked here. Ah, okay. Well, well, we tried, huh? We tried. Yeah, we had to use the Heirloom instead of actually just having more mana too. So now they do just have the chump since we don't have Heirloom to give trample anyways. So I don't know what the best case scenario would have been there. A little bit less life gain from the opponent would have been the best case scenario. Now what's cool about the Resolve is they can't actually double block either. So enchanted creature gets +2, can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So that should come in handy eventually, right? At some point. Hey, good game, opponent. Good game. That could have went either way. For sure, huh? For sure. Yeah, these Dimir deck lists too. Well, I haven't been seeing them as much as the landfall builds and the Azora synthesizer builds. I've still been seeing quite a few of these Dimir builds too. So I think we're starting to see the meta settle a little bit. For sure. Yeah. All right, guys, let's keep the ball rolling. I have a lot of confidence in this deck list right now. How about you? Also, did I go over the YouTube side of things already in this video? I forget. I don't think I did. We're about halfway through the video, so make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. And also, guys, if you liked the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. So thank you, guys. Yes, look at this. Wow. This is good, man. Really good. It would have been better had we gone first, but I'm not complaining. Nope. I think this is good. Nesting bot. Okay. Azora Sacrifice. Scary deck list, especially if they hit that Sephiroth right on time. Skipping the green. Go right into the 4/4. I mean, this is a good turn too. I don't plan on blocking, I guess. So I could plug it into... No, I'll keep it as a blocker. What am I saying? We'll see if they miss the Sephiroth. That's pretty important. Honestly, they'd probably want to start with a swing. And then pop like the Infestation Sage. Nice, it's tapped land. That's great news, guys. Raise the Past, they already got one in hand then probably. If they sent that to the grave. Although a second one probably would have been pretty good, opponent. Maybe they figure versus this deck list in particular. So pretty much no matter where we block, they're happy about it because they plan on raising the Past anyways. So I guess we can go Forsaken Miner. Then they sacrifice it for the Surveil. It's just less damage, and the other ones replace themselves, whereas the Forsaken Miner does not replace itself. Okay, and they send an Infestation Sage. Okay, we'll see if they have that Raise the Past right on time, because of course they'd want to pop the other two. Right, so I think a Raise the Past is going to happen right on time here, guys, which is pretty scary. We probably want to save the Resolve for after the Raise the Past. Make sure we can hit the Zealot after the fact, right? If we're in danger either way, we should really try to push damage to the point where the opponent struggles. On the backswing, right? This is pretty good. Honestly, so good, they should probably chump. Yeah, not playing the breeding pool because we don't necessarily want to take the 2. So they do go down to 10. Let's see this awesome Raise the Past from them, because what it means is no life gain for the turn. It does mean a huge chunk of creatures. It also means that we have a pretty good chance of hitting that Resolve onto the Zealot, hopefully. Yep, untapped mana. Start with the swing since none of their creatures will have haste from the grave. Go down to 11. They hit that max speed. Raise the Past right on time. Good stuff, opponent. Yeah, we were fully anticipating that based on the second Raise the Past being sent. Tezzeret Cruel Captain's pretty good. We can't win on the backswing. Unless Mechanozoa comes down. Forcing multiple blocks. But we tap down like their nesting bot for the turn. Escort goes up to 14 total damage. That's crazy, man. That's actually crazy. What we want to do here too, since we're still at 11, we can still play the Resolve. If we needed more damage through, we could still pop an Infestation Sage. Oh, no. They'll still get the 1/1, so it doesn't matter. Yep, swing for 14 damage. They are forced to double block, but it's still lethal. Good stuff, man. Mechanozoa on the top end for a very good reason. Nice. Now, down to -2 means we didn't need to tap the nesting bot, right? They would have been down to -1 instead. 29 minutes in, I'm feeling good. I say we go one more. Win or lose, we showcased the deck list beautifully here. This is really cool. Now, I called it Simic Cookies. Hopefully, we actually get to see our tough cookie do a little bit more than what we saw it do today, right? For sure. It's still fun to call it Simic Cookies regardless. Regardless of how many cookies are actually packed in. Hey, tough cookie. All right, let's do the thing, buddy. Let's do the thing. With Tezzeret, this is a very scary hand for the opponent if we see our third mana, because I think this could be the game where we actually -7 the Tezzeret. We do find the third mana. Easy peasy, guys. Get the breeding pool down. All right. They call Bard. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that could entail here. Yep, we still try to curve out properly. Based on this hand, I think if we had more of our creatures, we'd go Herd Heirloom instead. Cash grab. River Regent, Omniscience. Oh, guys. I don't know if we should be terrified right now. Get some tapped land. If we power up, we could get a swing for 6. Leyline Axe is ready too. Tezzeret can power up the cookie for a swing of 3. Zoetic Glyph is also really good here. Swing of 7. I think we got to go fast. I'd love to have actually gotten the Tezzeret down and established ready for the other tough cookie in hand. But we have to remember that next turn too, we could power up the Leyline Axe with the tough cookie ability potentially. We're going to play Kona. Oh! We totally just lost the game, didn't we? We're totally out of this. Yep, Omniscience. Well, crap, guys. Crap. We got 3 turns. That should count for something, right? So this is actually my second time going up against this Kona Roxanne build, where they also play that one card that makes it so that way these abilities double. I don't exactly remember what it's called right now, but wow, Pinnacle Star Cage. Do we hit off the glyph? I don't think it matters much here. Herd Heirloom, nice. Yeah, Kona right away tapping down to the Titanic Godcore, hitting right into the Omniscience is crazy and consistent, because the last time I saw this deck list, that's exactly what they did right on time. So, very, very scary, man. Okay, power up the... What? It passed back? Holy cow. They missed. Cool. That's weird, I guess. It's definitely weird when the opponents miss. All right, yep, I guess there's not a lot we can do here, guys. There really isn't. We'll dump it all except for the poor Tezzeret just chilling. Tezzeret a one-of for a reason, I would say. It's kind of a utility card in here. I do like Tezzeret a lot, but compared to the rest of the deck list, it's very slow. Oh, Roxanne also... When it swings, it's when it enters or attacks, so they easily pop the tough cookie with the meteorite entering. Down to 2, they pass it back. Honestly, I can't believe they're missing. I really can't. Right. Yeah. So, like a second Roxanne from hand or anything like that would have been great for them. I guess Tezzeret. I guess -3. We'll grab one of our 1-drop cards, I guess. Like, what else are we going to do, right? We have no creatures. And then it should probably be Synthesizer Labship, since we already have Lavaspur Boots in hand. And we completely play it out just for the fun of it all, you know what I mean? Give some boost to the Tezzeret, back up to 3, which is actually really neat. Good game, opponent. Yeah, brutal, though. Very brutal. So we've been seeing, like, not only these big explosive deck lists, but, like, just kind of across the board explosive deck lists. You know what I mean? I don't even want to call a lot of these ones that deal with the top-end glass cannons either. Like, it's fine to call Mono Green Landfall a glass cannon. You know what I mean? But these top-end ones, they're built to survive, too. and built to last into that mid game until they actually get the combo or get to pop off. It's similar to how like the Jund Dinos, and again, Jund Dinos being incredibly consistent, and also like the Azorius Synthesizer, just like these deck lists that pop off so fast and all in one turn. How do you stop it? I think I'm gonna have to start playing counter spells, guys. I think so, honestly. Some counter spells could really work well in here, depending on what kind of counter spells you're thinking too. Another card to consider here is actually, there's a new one that returns non-land permanents. It's the Desculpting Blast. And then if it was attacking, you also get the little 1/1 drone. It can block only creatures with flying, but still kind of neat. Fits the artifact theme. You can equip the drone with like the Zoetic Glyph and stuff too. Definitely something to consider. We still would have, yeah, Desculpting Blast would have stopped the Kona for one turn. Yep, definitely something to consider because Kona actually has to make it to the main phase 2 for the Kona ability to activate. So, yep, consider Desculpting Blast, maybe over the Bounce Off, maybe even over the Meltstrider's Resolve. I do think Meltstrider's Resolve just being a fight spell is totally fine. I think that usually we'll have chunky enough creatures. And then let's say it's like the 5/4 from the Zoetic Glyph, right? If it's the 5/4 from the Zoetic Glyph, then the Resolve boosts the 4 toughness to 6. Now it's a 5/6. Can you guys imagine missing the fight on a 5/6? You're looking at a 6/6 Flying Demon, which was for 5 mana, right? Probably. Probably for 5. I guess it really depends on what deck list you're up against. But even so, those demons get hit by Bounce Off pretty consistently, and similar concept to the Desculpting Blast too, right? Any of those big tokens and stuff. Yeah, Desculpting Blast probably should have made the cut at the very least as a one of, but also, since we are Simic colors, this is very much Simic aggro, not Simic tempo. If we lean at tempo, get a couple counter spells, maybe we can start dealing with those more explosive deck lists a little bit more consistently, right? I think next week I'm gonna visit some tempo deck lists because I think I'm in desperate need of counter spells, guys. I really do, just based on what I'm up against. That's crazy to say, and counter magic is not my favorite brand of magic, let me tell you. But I think we really need to counter the Zombifies. I think we really need to counter even turn 3 synthesizers, you know? We need to apparently counter the Konas as well, because those Omniscient builds looking a little bit consistent with Kona, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, scary business. Scary meta so far. Where it's actually landing has been terrifying. And I've been having a huge struggle with actually like pushing the last bit of points through, for example, and stuff like that. That's also why, like, the opponent bringing Boros Burn to the table. I think Boros Burn, it hits big and it's very clean with its hits too. I think Boros Burn might actually have a good chance. I got to visit that again soon too, for sure. If you guys are interested in Boros Burn, let me know in the comments. And then also, guys, we're talking a lot about where the meta is settling, but I got to bring up this deck list again. As far as Simic goes and Simic early land, boy, it's just beautiful over here. Earlier this week, we actually visited Orzhov too, and Orzhov also has a beautiful array of early dual land. So with all the Verge and all the Breeding Pool and all the Sanctums, there really should be some version of Simic aggro or Simic tempo that cares about a lot of early things that does well. And this did do pretty well today overall, didn't it? I think so, and it felt pretty decent too. Yeah, leaning at a little tempo might help it versus what we're seeing in the meta, but at the same time, has it been a couple weeks yet since the set came out? I don't know if the meta has completely settled yet, but it does seem to start. It has seemed to have started settling. Words are hard, guys. Wow. So a couple other things, man. I really like the Herd Heirloom in here, but sometimes it's just like a dead card too. So I could see 3 easily, but I really liked it. And I think that if we had a Herd Heirloom in that one versus that one Boros game, I think we could have easily won that game, honestly. Couple turns a row with Trample, the Escort. Yep, I think we would have won. So all 4 Herd Heirlooms, probably for a very good reason. Other than that, once you start seeing your second and third, it does end up being a dead card, but that dead card could lead into multiple draws a turn as you activate multiple Herd Heirlooms on a creature that's getting through, whether you're flying through with a Guardian in the air and boosting it with like a Lavaspur Boots, or just getting through on the ground, and again, that trample coming in handy on the Emissary Escort especially. Mechanozoa you could give trample to, again, haste off the Lavaspur Boots. Kind of feels like we want more Lavaspur Boots, but don't forget too, Tezzeret can go ahead and grab the boots out of the deck list with the -3 as well, and that's a 1 of in here too, so some more bounce off could have been good today as well. Actually, for some reason I brought up the Desculpting Blast, wherever that may be, but bounce off also deals with Kona before they actually get to their main phase 2 as well, right? I don't know if you got to put a stop. Probably not. I think you can probably bounce it as soon as they tap down in their main phase 1. Yeah, bounce off also could have dealt with that whole nonsense. Giving us an extra turn could have been essential, and maybe we could have actually pushed enough aggro through then on the following turn. And then they ended up missing for a few turns too, which was surprising. I thought they were really going to pop off and just win all in one turn, because that's usually what happens with the Omniscience deck lists. Leyline as a 4 of. It's one of those ones where it's like, again, it's a dead card as you continue to draw them, like the Heirloom, but when you don't have 4 and you don't see it in your opener, it's a little bit sad too. When you do find 1 or 2 of these in your opener, that's excellent business, man. It's making all of your Guardians cheaper, and it's immediately making the Emissary Escort a 4/4 for just 2 mana, that's crazy stats, dude. Holy cow. Yeah, a lot of crazy things about this one. So remember that the Tough Cookie ability can only hit non-creature artifacts to become a 4/4. You can't like target your Emissary Escort. It'd be a 2/4 at that point with the Tough Cookie alone. You can't power it up to a 4/4. It does specify non-creature artifacts, but being able to power up like the Leyline Axe, again, if it is a dead card after the fact, I guess at the very least, at some point, you could power up the Leyline Axe with the Tough Cookies too. But it's, of course, much better to use the equip for 3 and plug it onto a big old chunky thing somewhere. And that also is a way to give trample in here outside of the Herd Heirloom too. So I love that the Herd Heirloom can get powered up as a 2/2 from the Labship as well. So again, even if it is a dead card, having multiple of them on the board isn't necessarily terrible if you're powering it up with the 2+ on the Labship, or maybe you're powering it up with the bottom ability on Tezzeret, the -7, which I think shouldn't be unheard of, but it's actually been pretty hard to get to as well, with only 1 Tezzeret in here too, though. I think if any deck list could -7 the Tezzeret, it would be one with Tough Cookie, because it's just such a cheap way to get 2 artifacts onto the board, but then at the same time too, being very picky with the -3 as well, just constantly dropping the -3 to rip something out of the deck list to try to keep up card advantage too. That's pretty important. Yeah, lots to say about this one. Wow. What did you guys think? I liked this one a lot. Let me know in the comments. How about putting it on the do not craft list? Probably. It's not that bad though, right? Let's see real quick. We got rares, commons and uncommons. Rares. Oh dear. Oh dear. Maybe it's worse than I thought. It's not that bad. That's still a huge chunk of rares, though. 16 total rares and a mythic. Let's not forget the mana base, too, but luckily the mana base can be played in other deck lists as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say this one is definitely worth. Craft a little less based on your collection. Completely base it on your collection. There's so many great key artifact cards that you could trade in that might actually be a little bit more budget friendly, or just cards that you have laying around in your collection that might work well in here too. I don't know what those trade outs would look like right now, but yeah, don't craft it, but you could probably base it on your collection quite successfully and have some good fun with it. There's other cookies to choose from too, like a big one that really should have made the honorable mention, of course, is Ginger Brute. Yep. Ginger Brute's a great one, and a great one to put like Zoetic Glyph on and everything too. Or Zoetic Glyph Leyline Axe. Don't even worry about the trample. Use top ability on the Ginger Brute, for example. Yeah, Ginger Brute's a great trade-in, and it's a common. So there you go, right? Maybe you don't have all the Leyline Axe. Maybe you have one of these sitting around. You don't got to craft the other 3. It was great today, don't get me wrong, but you could just go up a common like Ginger Brute and probably be happy enough. Especially since this deck list is trying to do the aggro thing, and Ginger Brute's a great way to slip those last couple points of damage through with that top ability for sure. So, and there's, like I said, there's got to be other great budget trade-ins as well. Even Bristlebud Farmer could be a great trade-in. If you got a couple of these sitting around, definitely not worth the craft, but like, yeah, you got a couple of these in your collection, could be a cool trade-in. Couple food when it enters, powers up the Tezzeret a little bit. Works well with the other food that you're generating on the tough cookie and everything too. Yeah. Yeah, that could be pretty neat. Give it haste off the Lavaspur Boots and stuff. Yeah. All right. Hey, guys, enough rambling, huh? Wow. Yeah, lots to say. If you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you. And I will see you in the next video.